Donald Trump literally just said, Israel first, Americans last.
You're negotiating with Iran, Mr. President. To what extent are Americans' financial situations motivating you to make a deal?
Not even a little bit.
How much is Trump worried about our personal finances? Not even a little bit. Not even a little bit.
The only thing that matters when I'm talking about Iran, they can't have a nuclear weapon. I don't think about Americans' financial situation. I don't think about anybody. I think about one thing. We cannot let Iran have a nuclear weapon. That's all. That's the only thing that
Wasn't even an issue. Under the deal that Obama negotiated, inspectors could come in, make sure things were in check and they were following the rules, and they were. And then Trump, because Obama's name, anything Obama is like, it's like a dog, he's got to pee on the tree. Oh, he's such a child.
Iran could produce a nuclear weapon in a very short time. It could be a year, it could be within a few months. They have the wherewithal, the stored up, preserved knowledge to make a bomb very quickly if they wanted to do it.
Iran is so dangerous. Weeks away from having the fissile material for an entire arsenal of nuclear bombs.
They're very close. They're 6 months away from being about 90% of having the enriched uranium for an atom bomb. Iran is gearing up to produce 25 bombs, atomic bombs a year, 250 bombs in a decade. Ladies and gentlemen, time is running out.
Iran will be capable of producing alone, without importing anything, nuclear bombs within 3 to 5 years.
If not stopped, Iran could produce a nuclear weapon in a very short time. It could be a year, it could be within a few months. They have the wherewithal, the stored up, preserved knowledge to make a bomb very quickly if they wanted to do it.
Iran is so dangerous. Weeks away from having the fissile material for an entire arsenal of nuclear bombs.
They're very close. They're 6 months away from being about 90% of having the enriched uranium for an atom bomb. Iran is gearing up to produce 25 bombs, atomic bombs a year, 250 bombs in a decade. Ladies and gentlemen, time is running out.
Iran will be capable of producing alone, without importing anything, nuclear bombs within 3 to 5 years.
If not stopped, Iran could produce a nuclear weapon in a very short time. It could be a year, it could be within a few months. They have the wherewithal, the stored up, preserved knowledge to make a bomb very quickly if they wanted to do it.
Iran is so dangerous. Weeks away from having the fissile material for an entire arsenal of nuclear bombs.
They're very close. They're 6 months away from being about 90% of having the enriched uranium for an atom bomb. Iran is gearing up to produce 25 bombs, atomic bombs a year, 250 bombs in a decade. Ladies and gentlemen, time is running out.
Iran will be capable of producing alone, without importing anything, nuclear bombs within 3 to 5 years.
It's got to be the greatest heist in American history.
And while he is going on record making it really clear he doesn't give a damn about our finances, he is just going to take more money from us. He's just going to take it. I'm not even going to interrupt this story. It's a lot.
A direct transfer of billions of your taxpayer dollars directly into the bank account and the pockets of Donald Trump, all dressed up as a settlement of a lawsuit in which Donald Trump is both the plaintiff and also the defendant. It would be a maneuver that could nearly triple his net worth. It is flying under the radar as Trump landed in China today with great fanfare with a delegation of, billionaires and family members in tow. The chosen MAGA elites looking for overseas deals. All of this happening as the Trump administration is literally making your life harder and more expensive with wars and tariffs. But none of that has stopped Trump from trying to get his hands on more of your money. The New York Times, citing 3 people familiar, reports that in the coming days, Trump's Department of Justice may pay out $10 billion or more to Donald Trump to settle his lawsuit against the IRS. Trump filed that suit back in January, saying the agency should have done more to prevent the leak of his tax returns during the 2020 presidential campaign. The president, in effect, sued himself for more than $10 billion, or he sued the government he controls. $10 billion, by the way, is nearly the entire annual IRS budget. And those dollars, if paid out, would come from the U.S. Treasury, which he also oversees. Now, this is so novel, I don't really know how you characterize it legally. We're out past the frontier. Whether legal or not, I am of the strong opinion, and I think many would be also, that this is an attempt at the largest theft ever by an American politician. Plainly, flagrantly, blatantly, in plain daylight. It is a conflict of interest so enormous, the term itself, conflict of interest, hardly begins to capture what's happening. In fact, get this. Last month, a federal judge in the case, a woman named Kathleen Williams, she's the federal judge who's been assigned this lawsuit, right? She gave Trump's private lawyers and the government's attorneys, right, because it's Trump's lawyers and the DOJ attorneys that he controls, she gave them until May 20th to come back and explain how the case isn't a scam to enrich Trump. She's like, wait a second. The Constitution requires cases or controversies, but I don't see one here. She writes, although President Trump avers he is bringing this lawsuit in his personal capacity, he is a sitting president, and his named adversaries are entities whose decisions are subject to his direction. She added, this raises questions here over whether the parties, Donald Trump and Donald Trump, are truly antagonistic to each other. They would have to be antagonistic to each other for this to actually be a case or controversy as defined by the U.S. Constitution. What the judge is saying is like, I don't think this is actually a real case. It can't be you're on both sides. So the lawyers have one more week to file briefs that would convince the judge to let Trump's $10 billion lawsuit continue. But today, sources tell the Times, quote, White House and Justice Department officials have in recent days been exploring ways to potentially settle the suit before that deadline. Essentially find a settlement that would be agreeable to the plaintiff and the defendant, Donald Trump, and shovel tons of cash over to him in return for him dropping the suit. The mob has a word for that: shakedown.
President Trump right now is suing the IRS for a $10 billion shakedown. Think about it. He's suing the federal government that he controls. A check for $10 billion that he hopes to secure that will go to Donald Trump, signed by Donald Trump. And who's paying the check? The American taxpayers.
And think of it again. Your taxes, they come out of your paycheck every week, or you wrote a check April 15th. Some part of that is going to end up in Donald Trump's bank account. No one has ever taken as much money in the history of the nation as Donald Trump is attempting to hoover up from the federal government right now. I don't think there's ever been a $10 billion theft. $10 billion. That's the same amount in child care subsidies that Trump froze last year. $10 billion is almost enough to fund federal disaster relief for a year. It is enough to fund the entire National Park Service, one of the great jewels of this nation, for 5 years. You could fund the Peace Corps for 20 years. It could all go straight into the Trump family coffers. I am telling you, there is no scale or precedent for corruption like this in the United States. It would put every other Trump grift to shame. The gold Trump phones that they sold 590,000 of and not a single one is shipped a year later. The just announced Trump Tower in Tbilisi, Georgia. The bid for defense contracts by a drone company that 2 of Trump's sons are backing. The Truth social media empire that lost $406 million in the last quarter alone. The quid pro quo pardons. The dirty crypto token payments from foreign states. They appear to have gotten sweetheart deals on AI chips, Trump stakes, and on and on and on and on. All of it pales in comparison to this single ploy for $10 billion. Here's a chart of Trump's estimated net worth over time from Forbes. You can see he has already tripled his wealth since coming back in the office. See those big bars over there on that side? That's the Trump presidency. It's been pretty good for his bottom line. He's up to $6.5 billion, billions of dollars while president. If his government settles his lawsuit the way he wants, his wealth would nearly triple again. This is the president backing a truck up to the doors of Fort Knox, demanding entry, piling gold bars into the back of the truck, and driving off saying, "See ya, suckers." To be clear, Trump doesn't even deny that he will pressure his supporters to pay him off. He just claims the money will go to a good cause.
Is this a good use of taxpayer money?
You can't leak documents. And any money that I win, I'll give it to charity, 100% to charity. Charities that will be approved by government or whatever.
You're going to tell them to pay you, though? Because you're the boss.
Well, what I would do, tell them to pay me, but I'll give 100% of the money to charity. I don't want any of the money.
You take it out of the system. A couple more questions here.
No, I'm putting it back into the system.
Yeah.
If I give money to American Cancer Society, I will give 100% of the money away to charity. I don't want any of it.
$30 trillion debt, and we're going to take $10 billion out of the system?
Well, I mean, you give it away anyway. They give away a lot of money.
Okay. It'll go to charity. Think for a second. Is Donald Trump going to give billions of dollars of money to charity? The same Donald Trump that we know? The guy who always tells the truth? The guy who promised to make things cheaper for you? The guy who's going to lower cost on day one? Remember that? How's that promise look today? New Labor Department data released Tuesday showed inflation's gotten so bad it is eating up all the gains Americans made in wages for the first time in 3 years. We got producer price numbers today that were eye-poppingly high. Prices keep going up as Trump's bumbling war on Iran makes oil and gas and fertilizer and life-saving medicines rarer and more expensive. The diesel cost is pushing up costs throughout the entire system. New records for diesel costs throughout the Midwest for the second day in a row. This is what life looks like under a Mad King. Every day brings a new let them eat cake moment. And now, as Americans suffer through the war and the economy that Donald Trump imposed on them, again, unilaterally, by himself, didn't have to do it, did it. He is scheming nearly full time about helping himself to billions more of your money. It has never been clearer who he's looking out for.
Oh, but Donald Trump said he would donate it to charity. You know, the news of him wanting to build the ballroom and this announcement of a lawsuit that he was basically suing himself to get our money, those two things broke at the same time. So I thought he is going to sue to get the money from us to pay for his ballroom. No, he's just going to screw us on both ends. He's making us pay for the ballroom and, you know, $1 billion for the ballroom. And then I can't even keep up with it. And now he's in China just making deals for himself and his friends. He hates us. He hates us. He hates us.